I'm Tanya Steele, editor-in-chief of Epicurious.com, and you're watching Around the World in 80 Dishes. Today we're going to Ethiopia to try a chicken stew called Doro Wett. And we're here with my friend Dave Kamen. You know, Chef, you always make the most interesting dishes for me. I mean, I have learned so much from you. And I think this is something I've never tried before, so I'm really excited to try it.
Okay, great. Well, this dish is a little bit different, but still is very much resemblant of what's going to happen over in Central and Eastern Africa. The Ethiopian people do a lot of this style of cooking, and we're going to be making a few components that the Ethiopians would use in several different dishes.
I see.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put together something called the spiced butter. And we have some butter, and we have a variety of spices and aromatics here. And the idea here is we're going to melt the butter, let all this steep inside there.
Wow, okay, so it's like a compound butter, but...
Something like that.
But with a kick.
A flavored butter. It's almost like ghee, if you will.
It's like ghee, okay.
Almost like ghee.
Like an Indian.
Right, so yeah, we're going to start by turning that up. Go ahead and add that butter. That's a whole pound of butter that we're going to make, which is, we're not going to use it all today, so don't worry about that, but we do want to get that started.
Okay.
And then just in the butter, we have some red onions that you can add inside there. We have some chopped up garlic and some ginger.
Garlic and ginger.
And it all just goes right in there. It's good stuff. And then we have a pretty eclectic variety of elements here. We've got some dried oregano and some basil, which kind of suggests Mediterranean influence on the area.
It does. Should I just put a pinch or
no, you
or the
can
whole
go ahead,
thing?
you can put that all right in there. This has all been measured out. That's about a teaspoon or so of dry oregano, and we've got about 8 leaves of basil. And you just go straight in just like that. And what's going to happen is the heat from the butter is going to open that up, and we're going to get a lot of flavor release from that. Then we have a couple of different things. We have some ground cardamom and some fenugreek.
Now, I always thought it was fenugreek.
Yes.
Okay, but you could say
tomato, fenugreek. There's lots of ways that we can go about that.
Okay.
And then we have a little bit of turmeric here, and there's a lot of your Middle Eastern and almost Indian influence coming down there. And of course, we're going to finish this off with a little bit of cumin.
I see.
Okay.
All right, Chef, I'm going to stir this.
We can give it just a quick stir, just to kind of mix it all around, but it's not necessary to kind of baby it. What wants to happen is we want to heat it up until the butter melts. Go ahead and just turn it down real low.
Oh, real low, okay.
So real low, because we don't want to burn it. That's fine, just like that.
Okay.
And then what we want to do is we'll let this steep for about 15 minutes or so. Then we'll turn it off, and we'll very carefully decant the butter off of the spices, and then we'll have that butter to use in our stew a little bit later on.
I love the lingo you're using, decant butter. I've never even thought of decanting butter before, so it's kind of exciting. All right.
That's my $1,000 word for the day. That little word calendar I have. While this is working, we're going to come over here, and we're going to make the next element, which is called the berber, which is our spice blend. And you can see we have a number of different spices here as well. Some of the same ones that we've used. Here's the fenugreek again, and here is the ground cardamom. We've also got some nutmeg and some allspice. We've got some ground up ginger. We've got some garlic powder and onion powder inside here, as well as some dried cayenne chilies and some paprika. Wow. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to make a nice spice mix over here. First thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to grind up the fenugreek. So we can take this, we'll drop it right into our spice grinder, which is basically a coffee grinder that we use mostly for just spices. And then what you want to do here is just give it a couple of taps on the top there. I'm going to pull it down. There we go. Into a nice fine powder. So now what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and you can just dump that right out like that. We'll take that ground up fenugreek inside there. And then we're just going to go ahead and basically add everything else and just mix it together. So we've got the chili pepper. You can add that in there. It's about a half a cup of chili powder there. About a half a cup of paprika goes inside there. And then we've got some nutmeg and some allspice. And then we've got some ground ginger.
It's funny, this is almost the color of the landscape, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That kind of coloradito kind of color.
Yeah, that's exactly the word I would have said had I known it. So.
Okay, good, good. This is some onion powder and some garlic powder mixed together. And then we have, again, that ground cardamom.
Okay.
And then we're just going to finish this off with just a really nice pinch of salt. And then what we can do here is we'll go ahead and stir that together. And here's a wooden spoon.
Thank
you can just
you.
go ahead and stir it together. Mix it up real, real nice. And this too, this is a powder that some people would make. And if you go knocking on doors in Ethiopia, you'll find probably several hundred different versions of this. And then this is what we're going to use a little bit later on to season our Doro Wett when we go ahead and get it on the stove.
Okay, great. Terrific. So that'll be in the next video.
Yeah.